If you're a business owner using AI, you know how hard it is to self-manage. You already don't have anybody telling you what to do, how to keep a schedule, how to maintain your own priorities. You have to do this for all of your employees, and now you don't get any real feedback. Your bot just does whatever you tell it to. And then you have all these great ideas, and your team has great ideas. Next thing you know, you have 14 open projects. This video is how to self-manage and set priorities by creating a scorecard to let you know sometimes when you need a break formation just for the sake of clearing out your to-do list. And I want to start with a story that's totally relevant for maintaining priorities and choosing what to do next. I vibe coded a company that's automated, making $300 to $500 a day. It's called the B&B Photo Factory. It does AI photo enhancement for hosts. And I added a feature that tripled our revenue, but then added a level of complexity that my AI bots are having a hard time handling. What we did for launch is we initially had a fill out form where they would upload photos manually and then we would process them. And that manual upload would be per room. And so those rooms would have custom prompts, all super great, very deterministic, okay? This new thing that we built is just upload your Airbnb listing and we use Firecrawl to scrape all of the photos from the listing, create the order, they just upload their listing, click a button, they pay. So the barrier to entry to use the product is way, way lower, which is one of my biggest bits of advice for any vibe coders. There are so many products that are out there right now that if you can build for lazy or build for stupid, you're going to be the one that makes the money. And so by building for lazy here, we tripled our revenue. Same ad spend, triple the output, wonderful. But there's much more work on the back end, trying to figure out what photos are for what room. And now we're also using Amazon Web Services, and we built this alternative with Lovable. So we're using Supabase, and it's this whole cross database backend hodgepodge, right? Bots are having a hard time. Now the thing is making money. The thing is hobbling along now. It's doing its thing. And I've got 12 other things I'm doing with AI. At this point, we are so close to finishing something that's very important for the B&B Photo Factory that we should assign it an extra 10 points Gryffindor if we can just close out the thing, right? And so this is the first tip that I have for you guys, is if you have a list of things that can be done, if one of them is close enough to being done that it is the last leg of tasks, the last task, that you can take it off your to-do list entirely, that should get a closeout bonus. Even if it's not high priority, you should prioritize things that can be marked as complete entirely, because if you're like me at all, the more like loose ends you have, the more wires that you can accidentally cross, the harder it is to manage your schedule. And so even if it's the small thing, like cleaning your bathroom, you still clean the room the whole way, and that's one room closer to cleaning your house. And so closeouts, I think, are super important. Next, for me, this is personal, take it if it works for you. Next, we ask ourselves, what are the projects that will immediately drive us more revenue? Because the more revenue we have, the more we can spend on additional resources to get some stuff done. So I've got a team that does a lot of my content stuff. And I do Zoom calls with students, and those aren't very fancy, but we have been working on making those Zooms look like podcasts, where we have AI scrape the transcripts for good bits, check the audio to make sure that the audio's got good emotional tone, then clip that video part and replace the background and change the scene to make it look like I'm in a podcast studio. And we're almost done with the project. Now, the reason why this one is high on our to-do list is because massive amounts of short form content are good for awareness, which would then be good for opt-ins for coaching. Since this can lead to revenue directly, we want to bump this to the top. But it's also competing with a couple other things now. And here's where prioritization starts to come in. I'm also hosting an event called Be a Host Summit on the 13th and 14th of May. This has a very sensitive deadline. The moment these days are gone, we can't sell any more tickets. Again, generating revenue, but for a deadlined event where once it hits the past, expiring inventory kind of thing, we can't sell it anymore. Anything that we can do to generate revenue in this regard then takes priority over our studio recreation thing. And for you Airbnb hosts, you'll recognize this, right? If you got like inventory available next week for sale, the moment the day becomes yesterday, you can't sell someone to stay yesterday. Yesterday is gone. So collapsing deadlines, work on those first. And some of you I'm preaching to the choir, but let me tell you why this is important, because there's other people out here that fixate on fidgeting, right? And you might be this. You might not even recognize that you are this. But are you working on stuff to make yourself more productive later? Like, are you working on a tool, or are you working on a workflow, or are you working on a framework, or are you testing different AIs to see which ones can give you the better output? And you're spending 4 hours or 6 hours a day optimizing the hypothetical, right? A lot of you are doing this. This stuff needs to go to the very bottom of your like priorities list. And I'll say it to you this way. I tell all my Airbnb students that are trying to use AI, who are non-coders, non-dev, right? Your business is running, and imagine yourself running because you're running the business. If you are in a sprint, you don't stop sprinting to open up your laptop and build something that could take 2 weeks to help you run a little bit faster, because everybody else is going to be 2 weeks ahead of you now. And what you're trying to do by stopping to build is to learn a little bit more about software and about code. And by the time you optimize whatever it is you want to optimize, you are likely going to find that someone else has found a way to optimize it, and it's open source enough for you to take it, and they did a better job than you were going to. So instead of stopping to build something for the sake of optimization and to stroke your intellectual ego, because I know how good it feels to build stuff that's cool, that impresses you, don't do it. It doesn't make money, and it's likely going to become obsolete. So stopping to play coder, where it's going to become obsolete soon anyway, bottom of your priority list. Here's a couple other pro tips for getting things done. Get stuff done without tools, like without your phone, right? We're talking like caveman sticks and stones. Get back to that mindset, because AI is constantly going to pull you in the opposite direction, and you need to lean into the fact that you are human. Do it fast, do it dirty, do it wrong, okay? And then as you do some stuff, you can say, hey, AI could help me here with this element of the thing that I'm doing like a caveman. And when you work with an AI to get stuff done, you're going to ask it, okay, so how do we turn this into a skill or into a tool that you can use later? And have it self-define its skills and save it. For example, my laptop, which you can't see, it's hiding in the back of that Airbnb right there. What it's doing is a combination of things. I built a N8N competitor because I'm doing something called token arbitrage. I'm going to tell you all about it, right? The B&B Photo Factory is token arbitrage, making me almost $500 a day, right? I'm building an easy N8N so I can do this token arbitrage play and show it to you guys here. But it has a bunch of bugs to bash. It has a lot of nodes to develop still because I built it on Lovable, and we all know how Lovable likes to make stubs, right? So I've got OpenAI Codex, one node at a time, building out everything that's not there because Lovable sucks, right? It's fast. I love Lovable, but it sucks. And I built a little AI bot that is just typing continue every 3 minutes on a cron job, because the codex isn't going to actually iterate through these nodes, even though it promised me it could. I tried and it failed again. So I just have my laptop running a very local AI model, just typing continue, continue, continue. And it's going to be 20 hours of coding, right? It's going to be a long time. But this is something that I was working with OpenAI and said, okay, I need a bot to do exactly one thing, and it's doing that exactly one thing. And now here I am making content for you guys. By the way, I'm in Melbourne, picking up 50 properties at a building, and that's on the way to 1,000 doors. I'm actually getting that developer to give me these 50 doors to do Airbnb in order to give me the building that I want. We met with another developer today who's got some stuff that'll come available in a couple years, so we're going to let that bake. But I hit him with a cool idea, and so we're going to keep the line open and see if we can do business sooner. And tomorrow I've got back-to-back meetings to pick up more Airbnb properties. So as a business owner myself, right? Somebody who wants to replace the need for programmers, and programmers are hating this YouTube channel, by the way, because no, I don't know jack about code. I know very little, but I'm getting shit done. Automated businesses. I'm building something that a coder wouldn't dare have tried to code. And I'm going to prove to the world that you can vibe code a monster business. Hopefully, this will be a $100 million plus vibe coded company, one man show. Okay. And stick around to see if it works out. I've already built one that's doing 6 figures a year. Why not we go for 7, 8, 9 right away, right? If you have questions, right? I know this video is a bit of a ADHD blurb about setting priorities, and I don't think I gave enough value. Do you? Right? I didn't give you like enough workflow on setting priorities. Here's another thing. Visualize your priorities. I like using linear, right? And then sometimes when my brain is extra scrambly, I'll use a yellow legal notepad. Did you know that they did a study and the color yellow makes you more intelligent? So that's why they made legal pads yellow to help with cognition. I'm also using peptides, by the way. So I might just like inject a bunch of Selenk or something, CMAX, one of the two. If you visualize your priorities and check them off one at a time, that helps with motivation as well. So anything that's near complete should go to the top of the list because the shorter your list is, the easier it is to get done. Anything that can make you money should go at the top of the list, but anything that can make you money whenever is secondary to the things that make you money and can no longer make you money because that window closes. Then we also want to look at leverage opportunities. For example, I have vibe coded a CRM extension that does lead enrichment. And it was a high priority for us. Out of all the things that we could have done, is a high priority for us because we can make like landing pages that can also sell like the Be a Host Summit event that I'm doing, but capture data in a way that a CRM can't. And by capturing this data from users and getting like robust user behavior that we can use to profile later, that data over time will let us sell people in a much easier way because Go High Level is not collecting enough data about people. And to explain exactly what it does, it's like Bitly. It's like a middleman link builder. So we've got this big link with a ton of parameters, right? UTM source this, UTM campaign, UTM journey, blah, blah, blah. It's a paragraph. Sending that in a text message, no one wants to click that. That looks kind of sketchy. So we made a link shortener that's like mylastname.com/ like a little bit of letters, and it hides that big fat paragraph of UTM parameters. But on the way through that middleman link, we hit them with like JavaScript, hit them with some cookies, we scrape their phone, and we save that all into a profiler. Now, if we have their phone number and their device ID, anytime they touch any of our websites, even if they don't give us their phone number ever again, we have their device ID. It becomes an anchor. If they buy a product, if they visit a site, if they engage with anything, open an email, we always have exactly every action that person took. And as long as any of those fixed like data points overlap, we know it's the same person, right? And then we can send them a text message later going, hey, you just touched this thing. And they go, how did you know that, right? But yeah, hey, you just watched this video. Hope you liked it. Here's a freebie. Hey, you just opened this freebie. We give them a phone call. Hey, thanks for checking out the free chapter of my new Revenue Manager's Handbook. What else would you like to know about price? And they go, how'd you know that I just got that chapter? I didn't give you my phone number right then, but they did 9 months ago on something else, right? And this lead enrichment middleman, like middleware kind of thing, that is heavy leverage because we have 30,000 people in an email list. And the sooner we can get better data on that 30,000 people, the sooner we can make money off of them. So this one site can touch 30,000 people fast because of its wide applicability. And that would be how we would prioritize leverage, right? So if you're a business owner, I know this stuff is making sense to you. If you're not a business owner, sorry, I might have wasted your time on a video. But we're going to talk about a lot. Like we're going to talk about my openclaw rig. We're talking about my local models. We're going to talk about some really cool stuff with that. I've also like jailbroke my openclaw, even though it's not technically jailbroken. I was able to inject prompts before the prompt fires, and I'm able to inject code after a prompt fires and do some crazy stuff. You guys are going to love that. Definitely you nerds are going to love that. So thanks for watching this video, and watch this video next. You're going to see how like programmers are so salty about this YouTube channel already. Watch that, and I'll see you on the other side.